What if everything you thought you understood about the perfect love story was never perfect at all? What if the couple you believed had it all, the chemistry, the laughter, the magic, were quietly fighting battles the world never saw? For decades, America has watched Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos as if they were a living fairy tale. Their playful teasing on daytime television, their unmistakable spark, their easy warmth, it all convinced us that some love stories really are written in the stars. But what happens when the cameras stop rolling, when the glam fades, when the applause quiets, and two people are left alone with their history, their expectations, and their unspoken fears? Kelly Ripa, the woman whose smile has become a morning ritual for millions, has finally peeled back the curtain, not with drama, not with scandal, but with a raw honesty that shakes the foundation of the fairy tale. People see the finish line, she admits. They see the trophy. They never see the bloody knees from the marathon. This isn't a story about destruction. It's a story about resurrection, about two people who learn the hard way that real love isn't found in perfection. It's forged in the fire. And their fire began long before television sets lit up with our faces. The beginning, the fantasy that felt like fate. It was 1996. New York City was loud and alive, and in a tiny, cramped apartment, two young actors were writing the first chapter of their real-life script. She was the rising star on All My Children, all bright energy and effortless charm. He was the impossibly handsome newcomer who stole her breath the moment he walked into the studio. The connection was instant, too powerful to explain, too fragile to expose. Their romance unfolded in whispered conversations in stolen moments. Their wedding, a spontaneous Vegas escape that felt less like a plan and more like destiny pulling them by the wrist. They thought they were building a dream. What they didn't know was that they were also carrying invisible luggage packed by generations before them. Because love isn't just two people coming together, it's two histories colliding. When the honeymoon fades, culture, family, and the ghosts that moved in. At first, their differences were charming. His Spanish-speaking household, her Jersey roots. His passionate family traditions, her structured, close-knit upbringing. The food, the music, the energy, it was intoxicating. But then life settled in. Suddenly, fun cultural differences became difficult cultural negotiations. Whose traditions matter most? Whose family gets the holidays? How do you raise the kids when every value feels sacred? You don't realize when you marry someone, you're also marrying their entire past. Their mother's recipes, their father's stubbornness, their childhood wounds, their unspoken expectations. And those ghosts, they don't leave easily. Arguments started, not explosive, dramatic ones, but the slow, quiet kind. The ones that eat you from the inside. The ones where you share a couch, but feel 1,000 miles apart. Mark, in moments of stress, pulled inward. Kelly, a communicator by nature, felt the walls rising around her. The traits that once attracted them were now pushing them into emotional corners. Out in the world, they were the perfect couple. At home, they were two scared kids praying they hadn't made a terrible mistake. Fame, the pressure cooker that nearly broke them. Their internal battles were just the beginning. The next test came with a spotlight so bright it exposed every insecurity, every shift, every hidden fracture. When Regis Philbin left live, the television world shook. Suddenly, Kelly wasn't the co-host. She was the anchor. She carried the weight of an institution on her shoulders while the media dissected her every move. At home, the dynamics changed again. Mark's career was thriving, but headlines often reduced him to Kelly Ripa's husband, a label that stung far deeper than the public realized. For a man raised with deep cultural pride, it was an invisible blow. Kelly came home drained. Mark felt diminished by the narrative. They were a team, but playing two entirely different games. Date nights became email sessions. Conversations became logistics. Laughter became rare. And affection, it felt like reaching across a canyon. There were nights she looked at him and thought, "Who are you? Who am I in this marriage now?" They loved each other, of course, but the connection, the we that held them together, was slipping through their fingers. And they both felt it.
The breaking point, the decision that saved everything. Most relationships end quietly, not with a fight, but with a surrender. Kelly&Mark reached that terrifying edge, where the pain of staying starts to outweigh the fear of leaving. But instead of walking away, they did something radical, something brave, something terrifying. They stopped. Not figuratively, literally. They carved out a weekend alone. No phones, no kids, no agents, no schedules. Just two people sitting in the ruins of what their marriage had become. The first day was brutal, silent, heavy, almost unbearable. But when the world finally faded, when the noise settled, the truth had space to breathe. They began talking, not about bills or work or responsibilities, but about them. About that old apartment, that cheap slice of pizza, that wild Vegas wedding, the two kids who believed love was enough. They dug up their history like archaeologists searching for treasure, and they found it. They remembered their why. The shift, not fixing each other, choosing each other. Something powerful happened in that silence. They stopped viewing their marriage as something to defend, and instead saw it as something to nurture. A raft, not a fortress. A raft carrying only two people who would either row together or sink together. So they chose to row. They made a pact of honesty, a pact of compassion, a pact to never let silence become the third person in their relationship again. And from that promise, a new love emerged. Not young, not frantic, not explosive, but strong, mature, unshakable. The beautiful twist no one saw coming. When Mark Consuelos joined Kelly as her permanent co-host, the world saw it as cute, sweet, fun. But it was more than that. It was a victory, a symbol, a full circle moment built on the ashes they once feared would bury them. The thing that nearly broke them, blending their personal and professional lives, became their superpower. They rebuilt the dream, together. They chose each other boldly, publicly, and unapologetically. Going to work with your best friend, Kelly says, is a fantasy. It's our secret. Every day feels like a gift. And that is the truth she wants the world to understand. Real love isn't a fairy tale. It's a choice you make again and again, even on the days it hurts.